I summon Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards from my deck!
That's not what it does.
Roll my dice! That is what it does. Pot of Greed. Draw 3. I summon Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards from my deck. And I summon Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards from my deck.
That's not what it does. It doesn't do that.
That is what it does.
It doesn't.
That's what it do, Yugi.
That does what it do.
Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flush and Bad, and today we're going to be doing some more F tier Fridays. But for this F tier Friday, I have something a little bit special in mind. So normally for F tier Fridays, we kind of take a look at an F tier hero or like a class or like whatever. But for this F tier Friday, I want to take a look at an F tier card. And this card is brand new and released in Hunted. And it is one of the worst cards I think I've ever seen printed. It's got a paragraph of text on it, and it also does nothing. So we're in for a good time. So yeah, with that, I'm going to show off the deck list. And that is a Arachne deck that is playing Spur Locked. So I've been trying a bunch of different ways to maybe potentially like try to use this card. Like maybe use it to like tutor for like 2 halves of a combo or like something like that. Like I think I was trying something with like Sunkiss Moonwish, and I realized that like that didn't work. So we're kind of back to the drawing board on this card, but I think I've kind of envisioned a slightly new way to use that card, and that's maybe just as like a very hyper aggressive card. So my idea with this card is like, if you can get to a situation where you're already winning the game, like if you are getting your opponent to like a super low life total, and then you can resolve Spur Locked, what you can basically do is you can kind of put your opponent in a scenario where they don't want to pay a ton of life, so maybe you can use your life total to kind of like snowball like an advantage with like a Justinic or like a Take Up the Mantle. And that's kind of like the rough idea I have for this card. I also tried playing it like more of like a control shell. I didn't want to do like a CYV build because I thought that was kind of boring, but I tried a couple different ways to try to like make this card work. And I feel like the best way that we can maybe use this card is to use it kind of like as an aggressive like finishing tool to basically kind of force our opponent into a rough spot. So that's how I'm going to be using it in this deck. And for the most part, I copied like a lot of the shell for this deck from I think Brian Lorenz's Battle Hardened list, or it was a calling list. I can't remember. But I think it was from Memphis. So I think he got like top 8 of some kind, or like maybe top 4. So yeah, I was kind of inspired by that list and kind of running like a much more aggressive strategy. We also have kind of like some defensive tools on the board. This is not like a complete rip of his deck. I think I slotted in some cards that I think I like a little bit more. But yeah, this is kind of like the rough idea. And then we're just running like a very, very aggressive Arachne deck that's trying to basically close the game with Spur Locked. And obligatory inclusions here are also Plague Hive and Schism of Chaos, just because you gotta play your Fables. It's incredibly important. So this list like looks pretty honestly like kind of like just a very fine, like maybe like a B tier or C tier like Arachne list. And this is F tier Fridays, so that can't stand. And I was trying to think about like how Brodie would want us to play this card. And I think I have kind of landed on the answer here, and I'm going to show you right here. For every time we roll Spur Locked for this video, we are going to be rolling a digital dice, and that is the number that we're going to be choosing on Spur Locked. And I think that Brodie would want us to do this because basically, like, we wouldn't want our opponent to, like, basically be able to mind games us, right? We're completely leaving the die roll to chance as opposed to, like, our choices, and I think that's going to make this card significantly more powerful. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the games. Hey everyone, I wanted to kind of add a little disclaimer here before we get into the games that since we're playing with Spur Locked, I feel like there might be some comments that like come up where it's like, oh, talking about the whole like Brodie drama or whatever. And I think for the most part, that conversation has kind of like just reached its natural conclusion. So I don't think that there's really more constructive stuff to add on to at this point. So I'm going to just choose not to. Again, I just kind of want to have fun with the dumb Spur Locked card, and I hope you all will kind of enjoy the video, and also just leave Brodie alone for a little bit. I think that for the most part, the conversation has kind of reached its conclusion. So hope you all understand, and we'll see you in the games. All right, we got a KO. I think we just want to go second into KO. Give him a good look, have fun. Probably want some Lair. Let me cut some of our more aggressive stuff and like bring in Sync. I think against KO, I feel like Tarantula Toxin's maybe not as good, but I feel like Tarantula Toxin might just be a strong enough card to maybe just leave in the main deck. I think we'll try something like this, so see how it goes. All right, we got Spur Locked in the opening hand. You know that means it's going to be a good game. All right, so let's go ahead and block with Infect here, I think. All right, unfortunately leaking a little bit of damage here, but I think that is a-okay. All right, we got to preserve the Spur Locked in hand. It's very, very important for our game plan here. So we'll block with the Mark of the Black Widow and then probably just Reaper's Call them at the end of the turn. Reaper's Call has been like a really good card, by the way, when I've been testing this deck out. Seems quite solid. Not as solid as Spur Locked, but a very, very close second. All right, let's go ahead and start us off with Spur Locked. All right, Dice God, what are we rolling? All right, we're rolling a 2. That cannot be good for me because I feel like Kayo is just gonna like roll 6 and grab Blood Rush. Oh Christ! All right, who came up with this card? This card is so dumb. All right, let's go ahead and Savor Bloodshed, I guess, and then we can send in a dagger. Maybe get a card draw that we can use with our Razor Edge here. All right, we get a Leave No, which is pretty decent. Do we want to add a Blood Spatter Vest counter? I don't think we do. All right, and I guess we'll just send in the Leave No. I'm kind of hoping they just block with this with armor so that they don't remove the mark. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with this. All right, we get Fleshbag out of the way early. All right, so think about it this way: we're thinning the Blood Rushes out of their deck by putting them into their hand. We didn't just draw them their best card in the deck, right? We thin them of their best card in the deck, which is much better than just having them draw that card, right? You gotta stay a little bit positive here when you're playing Spur Locked. All right, rolling a 6, absolute monster over here. Disgusting. They probably only needed like 1 card though, or like they probably only needed like 1 action point, so I don't think the 6 maybe matters here. All right, what are we doing on our turn? All right, we got the Orb Weaver, so we can do like a super big Kiss of Death if we want to. That's kind of cool. Could also like what other options do we have here? We could like Leave No, go again with snaps, and then flick a knife at them. Yeah, this is kind of weird. But I guess let's see what they do next. All right, coming in with another Bare Fangs. So how do we want to do this? We can Leave No, go again, flick knife, re-equip, play out Big Kiss of Death. I think that's the play. Oh well, they're not gonna have an arsenal, so this is kind of bad. Maybe we just go for a big Kiss of Death and just call it a day, and then arsenal Leave No. Maybe that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and discard the Isolate here. Send in the Kiss of Death, and then just double Razor's Edge it. So coming in for effectively 13, it's pretty decent. No counter, revert back to the Brood. All right, they draw into another Blood Rush. Or sorry, we've thinned them of another Blood Rush. Very important to kind of change our wording there. All right, it's coming in with a Mandible Claw is pretty good. All right, how good is Random Flip here? Might be what we end up doing just because I feel like we need to close out this game sooner rather than later. All right, let's go ahead and take 6 here and then see what their next threat is, though. All right, following up with a CNC. So I'm glad we kind of saved our blocks here. If we flip into Trapdoor, it's like so bad, though. What are we doing instead, I guess? You can just send a Leave No at them. It's like also pretty bad. Yeah, not in love with our situation here. I guess we can maybe just use our Blood Splatter and then maybe block with like Kiss of Death and just try to random flip into something good, but I feel like we're kind of praying here. All right, that is probably the best one we could have flipped into, so I will take that, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and send in the bonds. They have a ton of armor to work with, so I'm kind of not very hopeful for our odds of connecting with this here. We could potentially like go again into Black Widow though, which is good. All right, coming in for 7. Is that enough? I think it's worth it to maybe just pump into it anyways. All right, let's go ahead and flick the clave at them. So this will get +1. Or no, it won't get +1 because we're flipped, right? Then I guess we can snap it and then discard to... Wait, oh no, this is not enough. Yeah, this is not enough. Yeah, I'm dumb. For some reason, I thought we were like at 8 or something, but apparently I can't count. I should have just done it on that. I'm stupid. But that's okay. We're learning. Yeah, I should have just snapped and pumped on this, I guess. All right, the block the leave no, at least. But I think I misplayed somewhat egregiously there. All right, arsenal that, which is not a great arsenal. All right, yeah, it's pretty bad. So we can block with like the inertia trap and maybe get rid of their arsenal. Could be good. All right, coming with the clave. All right, blood rot's not terrible. And I guess we just nick this. Right, banish or run roughshould. Sure. All right, coming in with pulping. Yeah, I think we fucked up this game, but that's okay. At least it was funny that we gave them a blood rush, which is probably why a Spur Locked is maybe not necessarily a good card. All right, let's block, I guess. All right, I guess we just die, right? Yeah, because it's got dominate. All right, give him a good game. All right, let's see if we can get another. All right, we got a Fang. This is maybe the one deck in the world that can actually lose to a Fang, but we'll do our best here. Let's maybe bring in some reacts as opposed to looking for scraps, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And what else do we want? Layer is probably like pretty free. So maybe we can bring that over like upsticks here. So we try something like this, see how it goes. All right, Obsidian Fire Vein coming in. I think we can probably just block with the Mark the Black Widow here. All right, and Proclaim Vengeance is pretty solid into Arachne. So gaining extra resource, always pretty good. Do we want to sink below here? Maybe we can sink the Spur Lock here and just save it for a future turn. Block with something else potentially. All right, finishing on a Snatch. Wow, that's pretty rough. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But at least it's like, functionally they did 1 damage on Arsenal. Plague Hive kind of bit us in the ass there, but that's okay. Let's start with the clave, I guess, and maybe give him like an inertia or something annoying. All right, Frailty is actually pretty good against Fang. I did forget about that. No counter on there. And then I guess we can just send in like Kiss of Death here. All right, coming out 4 is pretty good. Then we just Arsenal like Persuasive here. All right, we'll banish the trap to Arachne Backdoor, is that what he's called? Let's get a Frailty Trap and then I guess Arsenal Persuasive. Pretty happy with this, honestly. Wonder if we should have saved our Frailty Trap for maybe like a better turn though. Because like we're probably already dealing enough damage with this Frailty regardless, right? Alright, so I have Tooth of the Dragon, sure. I think that's fine. feel like a different Arachne would be kind of better here, especially with the hand we kind of drew. All right, and then do we want to react? It might be more value to just react on the other dagger. All right, we'll say no blocks, and then just use the frailty trap up here. So how do we want to do this? We could send it persuasive and then like snap it. Feels pretty bad. But maybe we just want to try to put something in Arsenal with Schism or something. Kind of stretching here. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't actually a good card. At least we got like 6 block out of them, which is maybe worth it. Kind of a actually decent trade for us to use our Snapdragon there. All right, let's go ahead and use the Hunter's Clave. We gotta take up the Mantle in Arsenal. Okay, maybe we're cooking something here. We can take up the Mantle into what, though? Counters are fine. So this only pumps a card with Stealth. So there's not really like a good way to get Go in here. So we might as well just like Dagger again and then like send in Leave No or something. Probably want to like hold on to the Bonds of Agony with the Take of the Mantle if I am guessing. Try to think of what a good Arachne player would do. And that's certainly not me. Alright, let's send in Leave No, which maybe is annoying now that they've used their Dynamo here. Alright, we get some more armor out of them, which I'm not upset about. So we'll go ahead and pass. A little bit of an awkward turn from us, but that's okay. Alright, lots of reacts. Hack reaction. So they do not reveal that, so we do not get marked. So that's pretty solid. I like this card a lot, though, in Fang. Just being a 0/4 red is pretty solid. And then if you get the additional mark value, it's really, really good. All right, following up with a Saber Bloodshed. I think I'm okay with this. Normally, so what are their mark cards? I guess they have like Proclaim Vengeance and stuff, but I don't think we're blocking anyways. All right, they're gonna pop Fealty here, I think, to try and put it on Scar Tissue, which makes sense so that they can swing with another dagger. All right, let's go ahead and just Laris Fighter this. So coming in for a pretty solid 13 here. Definitely a scary attack. All right, finishing on a Snatch. Snatch doesn't really do anything though, right? I mean, we're still like removes the mark, but like they could draw a card anyways if they just attack with dagger. It's kind of interesting. I guess we will just probably sink below this. All right, we got Spur Locked in hand. Let's see if we can do some work with it. And maybe, hopefully, not give our opponent the best card in their deck. All right, let's get a roll. All right, rolling a 3, which I feel like is like the average roll of like what you should do on Spur Lock. So I feel like we're probably either gonna just fizzle this or we're going to lose it. If I had to guess, because especially with their life lead here. All right, so we fizzled it. So 3 is normally like I feel like the worst draw. Could just send a Bonds of Agony and see if they block it, but I feel like that's kind of just relying on them to make a mistake there. Yeah, I guess we just have to kind of pitch it here. All right, they slap Happy, which is fine. So they get a Vigor. We flip into Black Widow, which could be good. All right, we draw into like basically the same hand as before. All right, Ravenous Revel revealing a Saber Bloodshed. I think we'll let them have the fealty here. think it's fine to give them the first one. Well, not really the first one, but like the first one that they have right now, I guess. We'll probably lair eventually. We might also just save the lair for something different. All right, double wrap is pretty good. Yeah, definitely a very aggressive Fang deck we got here. Okay, and finishing on another snatch. It's pretty annoying. I guess we'll have to cash in our Blood Splatter Vest, which feels pretty bad. But at least you get to block it here. The mark doesn't really matter because they're already marked. All right, Spur Locked. Don't let me down. All right, what do we got here? We got 2. All right, we're going to absolutely lose this. All right, they choose a 4. All right, at least we dealt 4 damage to them, I guess, for what that's worth, which is very little. All right, now we have more cards to Bonds of Agony out of them, which I guess is maybe good. Yeah, the Spur Locked card turns out is not incredibly good. It's a good meme card for what it's worth. But excellent, like this is an S tier plus meme design. I will give Brodie that. All right, let's go ahead and discard card here, take out the mantle, and just send a bunch of shit at them. Hope it sticks. We do not want to copy anything, and then I think we just want to flick. Kind of feels bad to waste our dagger like this, but is what it is. All right, let's connect and see what we get. All right, so they're going to... Oh, we could have actually, I think, if we hold priority, do we get to choose the order of the Black Widow triggers, or do they? What do we got here? We got to perforate, draw a card. I think we're just supposed to take blistering here. Like, the rest of the hand seems, like, pretty bad. All right, and then it seems like just, like, a very aggro Fang list. All right, another pretty decent hand here. So they have Drop of Dragon Blood in hand, which means they will be able to give this go again if they want to, but I think that's okay. I wonder if Drop was actually the choice there, but not entirely sure. Blistering Blade seems like just good in terms of like getting that card out of their deck because it's, I think, one of the better attack reacts. All right, they got to Proclaim into another Fire Vein. So you can give them the second fealty here. Do we want to do that? I mean, we do just get to send another Bonds of Agony at them, which is real good. So I think we'll just pass here and let them have it. All right, let's send in a innocuous Persuasive Prognosis. Totally not anything else. All right, let's go ahead and flick the dagger here because we need it to swap the take up the mantle. So we let this hit first. Then we can take up the mantle, targeting bonds, and then just nick this. Seems pretty all right here. All right, they have a shelter. That's fine, I think. This is not a dagger attack, so this is basically just shred. Sure, I think it's okay. All right, what do we get out of them? We get a Hunt's End, a For the Drakai, and a Long Whisker Loyalty. So they're not a 3 fealty yet. So, like, do we even care about any of this? Like, not really. I feel like taking the Hunt's End is, like, maybe the safest. Because on their turn, they're probably just going to send, like, For the Drakai at us. Wait, are we marked? Or not marked? I feel like I'm just going to take the Hunt's End. Are they only running 2 Hunt's End? That's kind of interesting. Okay, sure. All right, go ahead and Nurse the Toxin. Let's see what they got here. So they had a Long Whisker Loyalty in hand and a For the Drakai. Sure. So I think we'll just say no block. Oh, we don't have a dagger. That's unfortunate. They're also not marked, so they can't really do anything here. Let's go ahead and sink, I guess. And then what are we sinking? Maybe like Razor's Edge? Okay, I think we have like thoroughly bricked here. Yeah, that's real bad. Yeah. That was a little bit unexpected. Maybe Plague Hive is not good, or maybe I shouldn't have flicked the dagger there. Pretty rough. It's kind of an oops all attack react hand. All right, coming in for 5. We could use Mask of Deceit and get a random flip here. I feel like we might honestly need to, just with kind of like the way the game is kind of cooking out here. Yeah, let's do it. See what we get. All right, we flip into Funnel Web, and then they get a Pudge Fealty, which will put them up to 3 Fealty. I think that's okay. They're obviously in a pretty good spot here. Like, now their engine's online, and they can really start pushing the damage. All right, so what are we doing on our turn? God, this Plague Hive is being really awkward here. I guess we can, like, pitch it to red back, so maybe it's not that bad. Ooh, Fire and Brimstone is definitely dangerous. All right, we're going to take a lot of damage here. They have a Long Whisker as well. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, it's coming in with Obsidian Fire Vein. I think we will just take it here, which will give them a card draw as well, which is pretty rough. All right, Spur Locked. Do something here. All right, what are we rolling? We are rolling a 5, apparently. So if they had a 6, or I guess we just die, right? Okay. Well, we died to Spur Lock, and that's fine. The dice gods, unfortunately, decided against us here. That's okay, though. I think that's probably a good spot to wrap it up. So we did not win a single game, and that is maybe par for the course with Spur Locked. This card I don't think is actually very good at all, and especially if you're doing the random die roll, I think this card, maybe that's not the actual strat that Brodie intended here. But pretty fun idea, at least. I think that there's maybe some meme potential to this deck that maybe I need to kind of refine a little bit more. But we kind of have a couple, I think, unfortunate games there. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.